The expanding loop aims to reestablish the current assumption of large-scale urban complexes, rather than purely focus on the mass of the volume as a traditional and conventional approach. We decided to center our efforts on discovering new ways of conceiving mixed-use projects as such, with an emphasis on its edge conditions, i.e., its envelope, where all its urban social qualities are expressed while directly affecting its internal organizational strategy. With the notion of an expanding loop, this project makes infinite the idea of the edge in formal terms as well as the expansion of social interactions with a continuous and contained complex. We are intrigued by the thick graphical language and compositional complexity prevalent in medieval city plans. Focusing on the city of Deventer, its capacity to find sinuous edges in ways that, though not desired today from obvious aspects of social integration, it is the seed of a potential for a new urban configuration. Through the process of disassembling, we analyze the offset logic initiated with the zigzagging edges to extrapolate the resulting heterogeneous shapes. The offset zigzag line not only creates a strong visual boundary, but also enhances the layering quality of the fortified structure. Alternatively, in Le Corbusier's Plan Obis for the city of Algiers, we understood the edge as a thick urban mass rather than as a separation between adjacent territories. It combines urban infrastructure with living spaces, places residential blocks underneath the highway, while creating a conglomerate of linear and divagating slabs. It creates another aspect of graphic mass which is interesting to us. Borrowing and combining aspirations from these two distinct conceptions of urban edges, the zigzagging medieval city walls and the winding curvilinear blocks of Plan Obis by Le Corbusier, our thesis project proposes a new typology for dense urban living characterized by airy urbanism of layering and thick bending strips. The site, located at Hunters Point South in Queens, New York, was chosen for its scale and central location. 3 subway lines, a ferry terminal, and a bus route service the site, forming a strategic network of transportational modes. The manipulation creates 2-way traffic routes instead of one-way traffic to benefit vehicle accessibility. The artificial landscape merges into the building that welcomes pedestrians from different directions. In the past decade, the site has been transformed from its industrial past with factories and railroads to its present-day state with living spaces and green parks. Throughout the last century, the skyline in New York has been changed dramatically by massive constructions. Constrained by New York construction and linear infrastructure supported by aggressive capitalism of social exclusion, buildings are growing vertically, with increasingly narrow footprints, giving rise to the so-called pencil towers. Radically opposed to the vertical tower typology, expanding loop creates a new horizontally expanding form of urban living. The building consists of 3 layers of continuous loops traveling across the site, breaking the homogeneous vertical development of New York, while providing a viable and bold alternative to the growing needs of affordable housing. Approximately 5,000 residential units are placed on top, of which about 40% are affordable units, alongside apartments and condos. Different residential types are nested together, breaking the boundary between inhabitants from different zones. The middle part of the building provides offices and living facilities for residents and visitors. The commercial space and circulation spaces unfold at the bottom with the landscape on the ground. Located at the waterfront and across from Manhattan, the building's waving loop takes full advantage to maximize its view for residents and other users. Looking from the outside, the building's mirroring glazing surfaces reflect the water and surrounding towers, creating a new mixture of contrast of different building typologies at this estuary location between the 3 boroughs in New York. Sprinkled with copper panels, the facade creates a sinuous, fragmented reflection of the Manhattan skyline. At the ground level, the building is surrounded by a landscape that projects resilient efforts along New York City's waterfront to its neighboring boroughs. The open-air ground level integrates accessibility for the public through retail and includes transportation to all New York major lines. The overpass connects both ends of the site and merges into the park. The lifted ground level creates the public realm of the project, with public spaces and commercial areas. The entire lower region of the building brings landscape and nature into the site and intertwines the commercial and public urban scapes into the surrounding park. The building is accessed through its middle region, which is the connective tissue of the entire project. Between residential and public areas, it acts as the glue and connective tissue for the vertical organization of the building, providing areas for the communal facilities including retail stores, offices, theaters, galleries, and event space. The upper region houses the residential units, where it confronts the shapes and depths of the loops by using various types of rooms and organizations. This section shows the myriad spatial possibilities as residential, community, office, and retail areas intertwine. Contrary to the hierarchical program distribution in a typical high-rise, these spaces are mixed together with more and higher degrees of proximity. The looped envelope links interior spaces through linear circulation flows, bridging one space to another. This increases social interaction between people inside of the boundaries. Expanding loop integrates various edge conditions without the resulting physical barriers or social divisions of its predecessors. Instead, it creates a unified and heterogeneous mix of figural loops that make a new urban character at the edge of the city in the age of the post-social distancing. Through layering, delaminating, looping, and subversive superimposition, these edges redefine the urban complex. This new typology for dense living features an airy urbanism of layered bending strips and pedestrian promenades in linear parks. This concentration of multiple overlaid open spaces and views establish public accessibility for all. Expanding loop fuses these various edge conditions with accessibility to create a new urban character at the edge of the city. Thank you.